Alright everybody, welcome back to game number 2 of Meow Meow Kitty Rangers versus Digital Gaming. I just noticed that everything is capitalized in Meow Meow Kitty Rangers except for the K in Kitty, and that is instantly tilting. But we are partway through the first set of bans, and we've got Naga and Disruptor banned by Digital Gaming, while MMKR banned Silencer and Tusk. For some reason, whenever I see a Silencer ban, it instantly says to me that they really want to pick Enigma. MMKR's final ban of the first phase is Shadow Shaman, and Jakiro removed by DG. This leaves Witch Doctor, Sand King, and Rubik for MMKR. That makes me even. I mean, Rubik is a great support overall, but I really feel like MMKR want to get Enigma, because the only counter left, that like the really good counter left, was the Rubik, and Digital Gaming grabbed Beastmaster. I wonder if they get Lycan too. Nope, they go for Coddle instead. So lots of good push and counter push on DG. Maybe they'll go for Lycan in a later phase. Don't want it to get counter picked right away. And MMKR with the Rubik. Good. Just very versatile support. There's some decent spells to steal already. Illuminate, Mana Leak, Chakra Magic is pretty good to take. Most of Coddle's stuff is good to take. And Beastmaster has some obviously really good, like Shout, and the summon is stealing the summon is actually really good. You can get some insanely good creeps with the summon. But MMKR pick up everyone's favorite Ice Cream Man, the Ancient Apparition. So lots of AoE for like just good
10 seconds
I like the support duo because it's not super greedy. Rubik doesn't need a whole lot. AA can be given some farm, some items, and some space. DG remove the Omni Knight, and I think though Beastmaster is really happy against these two supports. They have okay setup for the Cold Feet, the lift pulling a hero back, getting them closer to where it was cast on them so they can't get away, and then they get stunned.
Radiant team ban.
But Beastmaster Wild Axes is devastating. It hurts, and these supports, low base armor already, can be just beat to death by the Beastmaster if they're not careful. It also depends on what kind of carry they bring into the lane. If it's something that can zone the Beastmaster really nicely, like Gyrocopter with Flat Cannon. I think Gyro would be great for MMKR, by the way. But I think Gyro's just a good hero in general. The Morphling and Omni Knight were banned in the second phase by DG, whereas Terrorblade and Bane banned by MMKR. So Digital Gaming have first pick here. They look like they want to do something push-oriented, and right now MMKR have terrible D-push. So I think they could grab like Chen, but they go for a bench, another Aura-based hero. I think they're going to get a Luna. I saw a draft just like this on Monday. Luna for Digital Gaming, they could go back for a Drow, but then the Beastmaster doesn't benefit. I prefer Luna. For Death Balls, I think Luna's just better. The flat damage from her aura is stronger than the percent damage from the Drow until Drow gets a lot of items, until she gets levels. Plus the Luna gives you a good team fight, which if you get deathballed against with the Drow draft, it can be really hard to counter it. MMKR pick up Puck, a good fighting hero, but not a lot of wave clear still. So if Digital Gaming picked something like Lycan or Luna, there's not a lot of ways for MMKR to stop them from shoving. Digital Gaming will be looking to win a couple of their lanes to enable them to end the game as quickly as they can with the auras they have picked up already. They could also go for a Death Prophet. I feel like DG should pick Death Prophet now. Ban some wave clear hero like Shadow Fiend. Puck, I can go off lane, so I would get rid of like an SF. I mean, they've got options, but I really feel Luna coming on for DG, but I think they should go for Death Prophet against A is not awesome, but I mean it's not like the hardest counter in the world. They could go for Lycan too. I think Lycan, Death Prophet, Luna, great options for DG, and they go for Viper instead. So they want a solid laning hero. Pretty good against AA and Rubik the Viper. Not a lot of great spells to steal for Rubik either for the Viper, but I don't think he's going to be stealing spells from Viper anyway. You've got Magic Missile, Swap, Coddle Blast, the Coddle Blind, Beastmaster Roar, the Summon. So there's plenty of stuff to steal already. MMKR. They need some. I feel like they should get some wave clear so that they can counter Death Ball or like D push. Maybe offlane like Nyx Assassin could be decent because there's so much that you can just stun enemies. Like they have a lot of uncontrollable AoE, right? Wild Axis, Coddle Blast, Wave of Terror, the Viper Poison. You can just get so much value out of a spiked Carapace in this game for MMKR. It's great controls, good lot. I mean, it's like less. They have really bad damage in that case, but I think it's doable. If they don't want to do something like Nyx, there's Brewmaster to go offlane, but again, not really good wave clear. I think they should just get Gyro. Gyro is great wave clear, good team fight, just an all-around good hero. And if Digital Gaming want a death ball, Gyro is super game for that. Gyro is so down to go fight against death ball. Like flat cannon, call down, rocket barrage, homing missiles. He is so down to death ball and fight you two early. He doesn't need a ton of items, so it just looks really good on paper for MMKR to run that Gyrocopter. Gets tanky. They've got good AoE with it already. And they grab Death Prophet themselves, though, so it is an offlane puck, and I think DG maybe wanted... Oh, no, they picked the Viper. So MMKR now have an objective-taking hero themselves, and decent wave clear with the Crypt Swarm spam. I still think they should go for Gyrocopter and DG remove Lifestealer instead. Maybe MMKR just don't value Gyro. Their carry player just doesn't play it. If that's the case, I think MMKR should ban Luna. 1. DG, I still feel like they want a Death Ball, and Luna actually looks pretty good this game. I mean, she'll go BKB. Eclipse gives her team some really good fighting, and Death Prophet, early game, very squishy, so the Eclipse will be devastating. Force her into an early BKB, an item that she doesn't really want, and that besides for Luna's Eclipse, won't really do anything for you this game. Viper strikes slow, still goes through it. You can still be swapped. Beastmaster Roar still stuns you. So it's just so... It just feels like the Luna would be really good for TG. And I'm going to stop talking about Luna now because I've been harping on it for a billion years. So I'm done, I promise. Done promoting Luna. And MMKR, okay, final promotion of Gyrocopter for MMKR. Also, done, finished. They should pick Gyro, MMKR should pick Gyro, and DG should pick the Luna. If not, maybe MMKR just go for like a straight brawling hero or like Troll Warlord, but that's not very good. Maybe go Lycan themselves. Gyro wouldn't be horrible for MMKR. Yeah, okay, so MMKR do ban Luna, and I feel like they're going to pick Gyro. I can just feel a Gyrocopter. Digital Gaming without Luna, they themselves might want to go like Gyro. I feel like they may be considering a Draw Ranger, but I don't think it's going to be that good for them. And MMKR, instead of going for wave clear, they just pick up a high damage, massive just burst hero in the Chaos Knight. Scales very well, but doesn't play catch up. The Chaos Knight doesn't really catch up that well. He really needs to have a decent lane, but I think they have the tools to set him up in a decent lane, and DG grabbed Dusa instead. And with these auras, she comes online a lot sooner, so I think that pick is fine. But, and Mushi Mushi with the Dusa can catch up a lot better than Obelisk on the Chaos Knight. So if MMKR, like, both teams need to do well in their lanes, and I think for the lanes, Beastmaster and Puck, these heroes... Beastmaster has kill potential in his lane, but it's easier to gank. Puck can't really get kills alone in his lane unless they leave the Medusa like by herself for a really long time, and even then, it's still really difficult for Zykor to kill her. All right. Both team ultra late game, it's DG. I mean, it's Dusa. Chaos Knight doesn't match up great against Dusa, just because her ult just shuts down his phantasm, like can kill his phantasm instantly or close to instantly. And if he loses his phantasms, that hero just does not feel that strong at all. Although we shall see how it ends up.
It was time to prepare for
how it ends up playing out. I mean, it could go either way. I think both teams are relatively even in terms of the draft, but I just slightly am favoring the MMKR. They played really, really well last game. They crushed last game. And Obelisk, the Chaos Knight, a great hero to prevent you from getting late game. So is the Death Prophet. They've got good damage, but are a little bit cooldown reliant for their damage, whereas the Dire, Digital Gaming, are not that cooldown reliant. So, and they scale a little bit better thanks to Medusa. Puck, not great scaling, but neither is Viper. So we will see, I suppose. We will see. Anyways, on the side of the Radiant, MMKR looking to make this into a 2-0 sweep. All their captain, I believe, plays the Ice Cream Man, the Ancient Apparition. Platinum plays Rubik. Pizza Pasta on the Crobellus, the Death Prophet. Zykor plays the off-lane Puck, and Obelisk on the Chaos Knight. And they appear to want to contest. Mushi Mushi positioned on the high ground in a way that will be very difficult for them to kill her there. Dime in the mid on the Viper this time. Got so bashed by it, he wanted to play it himself. Toddington Bear. Coddle. Trollbus on Vengeful Spirit. Ooh, Medusa walking to the low ground. Obelisk started with the Chaos Bolt. They have lift. They need to lift her, and she's taking so much damage from the right clicks thanks to that Ancient Apparition. And First Blood drawn by all. The AA Chilling Touch. It just hurts so much. She got massacred. And I think she lost her bounty rune. So 3 bounty runes and First Blood for the Radiant, for MMKR. A great start. But First Blood does not decide the game. Hasn't decided the game since TI4. But Obelisk, just like I mentioned in the draft, he wants to have a good start, and that is one way to give him a good start. They bring Otto up top. Medusa sent right to the offlane. They don't want her to go against this aggressive try so that she can get farm, and a really good laning decision by MMKR to be up here like this with 3 heroes, and the Medusa at bot against the Puck will have a much better time, and they even TP Coddle up and are going to do a try with the Beastmaster. The damage for the Radiant is really good though, but the Coddle Blast poke can discourage a lot, and Obelisk already kind of low. The Wild Axe is only getting hit by 1. And a good, the great response from Digital Gaming, getting these heroes up here so that they can counter this tri-lane and just put a lot of pressure onto the Chaos Knight. And yeah, MMKR just switching the lanes up the exact same way. They say, you know what, we want to eat your Medusa, we want to kill her. So they're going to follow her around, and I wonder if Mushi Mushi is going to try to leave. His TP scroll is off cooldown. Oh, it might get canceled by Platinum, though. The lift. Oh, Mushi Mushi. There's a TP scroll on the ground. She pops her mana shield. Obelisk winds up his stun. The maximum stun duration is just 2 seconds, though. And even with the chilling touch, it's not enough damage, I don't think. Eats through a lot of that mana, although Trollbus now just getting chunked. So both very low, and that's just going to be the story of the game. This lane they're running, it's really nice. Once they get Cold Feet up on the Ancient Apparition, it's going to be really easy for them to find kills, I think. And Reality Rift, they have both of those spells up and available now. So the kill potential on this Medusa, it's very real. And the fact that a TP was canceled means she can't go relax up in the top lane. So she's going to really struggle. They're going to need to stack for her so that she can farm with Split Shot. Mystic Snake also not that bad against creeps. In the mid, Pizza Pasta versus Dime. The Death Prophet, actually probably one of the better mids against Viper, since she can just siphon while you're poison trading and heal up all that damage. In terms of last hits, though, the Viper, Dime on top, but just a little. It's fairly even, and so early in the game, it's not really indicative of how the lane's really going. But Mushi Mushi, Medusa, just with 2 CS. Not what you want to see on your Medusa. A great catch-up hero, but if Chaos Knight has a great time, I don't think they're going to make it to the late game, quite frankly. A lot of it will depend on how well the Beastmaster does, able to set up for his team. There is lift. They have Cold Feet. They want to find enemy heroes inside this. They get the Chilling Touch onto each other. Coddle Blast lift onto the Medusa. She's pulled back. They turn to her. She's got the Cold Feet. Can she get away from here? She's going to get stunned. The Reality Rift doing so much damage. A couple of right clicks. She should die. The Fade Bolt plus the right click from all kills her. And now they're after Trollbus. The stun for 2 seconds. Coddle trying to right click, but just not enough damage. And now Trollbus, running through the trees. Magic Missile available. Could maybe kill Obelisk with that Magic Missile. Trying to TP out. Should escape. But Coddle can't TP. And a double kill for all. This AA having a great time at the start. 3-0. Pasta beating up Thyme in the mid, getting bad flashbacks of last game, although this time Thyme doing much, much better in CS, having a much better time. I wonder if he's going for a hand of Midas, all super greedy. I don't think he needs one this game. Trying to buy a Tranquil Boots, get him good sustain, and Mushi actually comes back bot instead of rotating up top after respawning. I'm kind of surprised by that decision, as she's had an almost impossible time here in this lane, and it really isn't going to get any better. The more points they get in Fade Bolt, the more points that they get in the AAQ, the AA Chilling Touch, the harder it gets for her. Like, it's not a very good, and even if she has to hurt both her supports here, I'm not sure that they can get anything. Trollbus picks up the haste, denying Pizza Pasta's Spirit Siphoning, and Troll just runs away. Breaks the shackle and starts trying to right-click trade, but you need to be a little bit careful. You can't really win the right-click trade with a Death Prophet, even if you do have haste.
You knew I was cold-blooded.
We haven't looked in this off lane for some time, but both Otto and Zycor are having a pretty good time. However, Zycor will be 6 soon. Whereas Otto, not even close to level 5 just yet. It seems like he's been zoned a little bit by this Puck, which is interesting to me. I don't know. Again, we haven't really looked up here, so we don't really have the story on it. But Puck able to dodge those axes makes it so much easier. The Dream Coil will be up soon. They may gank with that. Mushi can test the pull. Gets a little bit of farm, a little bit of XP here. So just find something with the tri-lane. They can contest that. Doesn't look like Obelisk, since he has no regen left. Not until that second shared tango comes back up. He can't really stop them. They can't really fight them there, even if they really want to. He's so low, he just dies to like a magic missile and a mystic snake, honestly. Illuminate Blast doesn't hit any heroes. Viper's starting to really pull ahead in CS against Pizza Pasta, and now at level 6, I'm not sure that Spirit Siphon saves her. However, she does have Exorcism, so it'd be pretty close on who actually has the damage to kill the other, I think. But Dime taking up tower shots, not very good. Oh, and bot, they go on Mushi again, the Coddle Blast, but it doesn't do anything. And Mushi, that's her 3rd death on this Dusa. And she recovers really well, but I don't think there's any stacks in the jungle. And even if there were, it's going to take some time for her to be able to take those in the first place. And it just feels like MMKR outplaying and DG. They're going to really... I think once Otto hits 6, they try to rotate down with a Roar and try to get Chaos Knight or even a support. But Zycor can counter-rotate with Dream Coil. So a difficult game again for Digital Gaming. They wanna, once they group up with the Vengeance Aura, with the Beastmaster Aura, there is potential there, and that's a lot of free stats, basically free stats for them. Even if Medusa is a bit behind, it compensates some. I'm just not sure it compensates enough. The bright side, of course, is their mid doing very well. Their top is okay, but as I say that, Otto getting low, Salve immediately cancels. Zycor just needs one more right click and he'll get it.
Short-lived creatures.
They have lift. They pull Medusa. Cold Feet. There is a Chaos Bolt. It flies forward, stuns for 1 second, but it sets up just in time for the Cold Feet. And the right-click damage from the Chilling Touch. Do they have the Reality Rift and a Fade Bolt? Ends Medusa's life for the 4th time this game. I think they need to... But now, even if she goes top, the Puck is not small anymore. The Puck is level 8. And Dream Coil up in 30 seconds. It could be she could die to the Puck, too. Troll Bus. I think they might want to try to go on Pizza Pasta, but they did send Dusa up top. They have Roar. Will they move Otto into another lane? I'm not sure they have kill potential anywhere except in mid at the moment. The Viper Strike onto the Death Prophet. I think they can make pretty quick work of her.
Radiant's top tower needs bandages.
The best. That's where the most potential exists for Digital Gaming, is in their mid lane. The Time has had a good lane. The Beastmaster, even though he died, is doing okay. Lift. He threw the Viper Strike, but just not enough right-click damage. He does dodge that stun, and the Magic Missile looks like they should get Platinum. The Reality Rip pulling back, but Platinum bleeds out to the Poison Attack in time. One more right-click will do it, trying to keep Obelisk slowed up so he can get away. Be careful. Can he get all will bleed out to the top, to the right-clicks, and slows himself up with the Corrosive Skin. So they get 2 kills, but they lost their Viper, their most valuable hero. If they could have got Chaos Knight, that would have been very worthwhile, but unfortunately they don't. However, Those 2 kills will help make up for some of the problems that they've had. And Mushi Mushi doing a little bit better up here in the top lane. Puck after a Veil of Discord.
Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
And Mushi Mushi wants to get phase boots, so an early fighting build. And this tri-lane there is some kill potential. Magic Missile, Wild Axes, they can roar if they feel that they need it, but they don't want to commit it. Lift, pull back into the tower. She gets stunned for 2 seconds by the Chaos Bolt. No Reality Rift used yet. Roar from Otto. Otto trying to beat up Rubik. The Wild Axes does finish him, but Otto taking a lot of damage from the tower. And now will go down to Chaos Knight right click as AA gets in there with the Chilling Clutch and the Cold Feet. So 1 for 1, but they're off laner for the Rubik. A fair trade for the Radiant, to be sure. I'm back mid, going wants to get Pipe of Insight, will help his team. Will help them a lot against the AA Blast, but there's a lot of physical damage on the Radiant too. I do think this is a fine choice against Puck, against a lot of Death Prophet's sustained damage, but it won't help too much against CK. It won't help a whole lot against Death Prophet when her ult is wound up.
Finders, keepers.
And once more, I'd like to see them go for this Death Prophet with Dime now that he has Viper Strike up. Rotate in your Venge. Even just, honestly, just Venge plus Viper should be a kill onto the Death Prophet for Dime. Otto, he's got phase boots. I suspect we'll go a Necro. If he doesn't want a Micro, could grab Blink instead, maybe Vlad's. Kind of wandering through the trees, wants to find an enemy hero, and he may do exactly that. Spots Otto. Wild Axes cutting down all those trees, and Otto, you gotta be careful. If you get lifted, that could be the end of you. Wild Axes, Wave of Terror. Some okay-ish harass, but he misses those Wild Axes. And back up top, Zykor just having a grand time. Top of the net worth, but directly behind him is that Viper. Zykor with a Veil. Puck hits incredibly hard in mid. Viper Strike, AA Blast, Chilling Touch as well. The Spirit Siphon, it's too much damage. Time, 1 more hit will get him. They Crypt Swarm him. And with the Ice Blast, that one undertaking too much more to finish him anyway. So the Dire with that Venge Aura and with the Beastmaster Aura buffing up their creeps and their heroes. Ooh, they spot Obelisk. Cutting down the trees, there's nowhere to hide. Poddington. Illuminate Blast doesn't hit anybody. As I was saying though, they push fairly quickly thanks to the Beastmaster Aura being having a couple points and the Venge Aura being at rank 3. So the first tier 1 tower of the game taken down by the Dire. This game, last game they just weren't able to do anything. This game they are getting towers, they've got a couple kills. There's a lot more potential here in this game for DG. I feel like they're not as reliant on getting this crazy, very difficult to execute teamfight combo as they were last time.
Not while I'm around.
Wild Axes. So much damage. I wonder if All isn't careful, he could walk into some enemy heroes. I don't think there's a point in Mana Leak just yet, so doesn't need to worry about that, but there is a Magic Missile. Reality Rift holding back Cold Feet. And yeah, he's a goner. 1 right click from Platinum, and you just gotta be careful against that, especially near these tier 2s. Even just Rubik with the lift pull and like a Fade Bolt plus a Reality Rift, it's enough damage. I mean, this is -7 armor from the Reality Rift. If you get crit by the Chaos Strike, that hurts real bad. Speaking of hurting real bad, Zykor. Veil of Discord, and Mushi Mushi has recovered nicely in this lane. She's gotten okay CS, she's level 7. I'd like to see her get a value Yasha or maybe a Maelstrom, something to farm, something to give her a little bit of stat before going right in for a Lincoln Sphere, because it reduces, it makes it so she can't really fight early. Gotta be careful against that Veil Mana Shield. Oh, Silence, Dream Coil. You've got nowhere to run. If you snap that coil with the Dream Coil, or with the Veil, it hurts. Ice Blast, not even necessary, or is it? He misses, and 1 more right click from Zykor though. It wasn't even necessary, but in the mid, Pizza Pasta gets the tier 1, but it costs him his own life. The Death Prophet couldn't see that one coming, or maybe did, and just figured the tower was worth it. Unfortunately, in the fight recap, don't get that that reflection, but the Death Prophet, I suspect it was much more worth it for Digital Gaming, since the Death Prophet has a fair bit higher net worth than that Medusa.
Radiant's middle tower may need a hand.
Moving up to shove the tier 1 mid. They don't have Auto with them, so that Inner Beast Aura not buffing his teammates. They do have the Vengeance Aura.
Dire just fortified their structures.
Fortification as Rubik and as Platinum, Zykor and all. shove the top.
Dire's top tower isn't good at the moment.
Both teams appear to be doing a tier 1 trade, so only one tier 1 will remain on either side of the map.
Dire's top tower is not on top of
2k gold behind, not an insurmountable thing. They can definitely come back from this, especially now that Medusa is in the jungle. She's been stacking for herself, I suspect. Or her supports have done it for her. But she is slowly catching up. Again, with the auras from her teammates, it does help. In terms of her damage output, she won't feel as far behind because of her teammates. They've got, like, the pipe will help her survivability in addition to the damage output from the Venge Aura, from the Inner Beast. All of those things really help her feel more impactful, even though she's playing from behind. And Medusa scales great, and even with a really difficult start, she can come back extremely well. And if this Medusa ever comes online, I'm not sure that MMKR have the real tools to deal with it. The Medusa ult, great against Chaos Knight. Speaking of Chaos Knight, Viper Strike, he pops Phantasm, actually dodging the Viper Strike. Nicely done from Obelisk. His Phantasms, they hit Thard, Thyme on the run. He just gets crit down by these CK illusions. And even if you had that pipe, it would not have helped you there. Great play from Obelisk, juking that Viper Strike. Nicely done. And Zykor buying a blink on the other side of the map. Pizza Pasta's Yule's only 300 gold away. Medusa still far from that ultimate orb. I still would like to see her get some kind of early game item to keep her feeling a little bit better. Not relying on finishing that Linken's, which will save her a great deal of grief. Do not get me wrong. You've got the Reality Rift to deal with, Spirit Siphon, Chaos Bolt, Lift, Cold Feet, all of these spells that can be blocked. But it doesn't do anything against the Exorcism. And this tier 1 was not long for this world. And Chaos Knight with an armlet. This is going to be very good. Oh, Troll Bust with the Wave of Terror and the Illuminate Blast. Swap back onto Pizza Pasta. Magic Missile. They have Roar. They could throw it out. They do. Pizza Pasta getting extremely low. The Ice Blast is a little bit too far back and they don't hit anything. Actually, it catches 2, 3 heroes at Grace's time. They pick off that Death Prophet. Lots of great pickoffs, and it looks like they want to get something more, although they need to be a little bit careful. Obelisk could turn this, and he has an armlet so incredibly tanky. The Stolen Wild Axes getting Toddington fairly low. All the while, Medusa able to split push at top. I want to take a quick look at what this is. So, a good amount of XP, which let's take a look at the XP graph. Mostly, still very much in favor of MMKR, but we do see a small dip, as is the goal. The small dip back down, and Mushi TPs away back towards the mid. Doesn't want to stick around with Rubik into AA, kind of coming up into her personal space. Next time Roar is up, I'd like to see them do what they did again. Otto, his first Necro, his Necro 1 finished. Thyme only a few hundred gold away from that pipe. Buckler. What does Buckler build now? Into now. Force Staff queued up for the Keeper of the Light. Rubik. Platinum. Wants to get a Spirit Vessel. Usually don't see that on the Rubik. And Medallion of Courage picked up by AA. I think I'd like to see that flipped. I feel like AA can do more with the Spirit Vessel than the Rubik. But speaking of Rubik, even if he had that Spirit Vessel, I'm not sure it would save him here. They Wave of Terror, Magic Missile. His teammates are nowhere to be found. He's got the lift. Roar. Illuminate Blast being charged up but misses. Not even necessary. A right click from Troll Bust plus those Wild Axes. Decapito for the Rubik.
Dire's top tower is not on top of
So starting to find some good pickoffs. The Digital Gaming are still a little bit behind, about 3k gold and 5k XP. It's not going to be an easy road, but if they keep playing the way that they are, hunting down these solo heroes or heroes that are, even if they're not solo, if they're overextended and punishing them for that, then they can definitely come back. Every time Roar and Swap are up, there's a ton of great kill potential for them.
Dire's bottom tower is in turmoil.
And it's just all creating space for Mushi. He looks like he wants to get Perseverance first. Cold Feet. Clearing Coil keeps Otto locked in. Silence, Ice Blast, Viper Strike on his Zykor, but they lose Beastmaster. Puck jaunting away, and now Viper Strike looks like it was stolen, actually put onto him from Rubik. The ult, Mushi trying to slow enemy heroes, but it does end. The Phantasm pop, he turns attention right onto Mushi. He's taking so much damage, done for 2 seconds. Slaughtered by Obelisk. Thyme, Wave of Terror, he's lost a lot of armor. Reality Rift, good blind, should save Toddington for some time, or at least maybe a brief time. The Chilling Touch, Cold Feet, and the Spirit Siphon, he's getting a lot of right clicks, and the Rip Swarm gets him, and Obelisk will live. Wave of Terror just giving vision and a 3-for-1 trade favoring MMKR. I wanted to say Exorcism for some reason.
Dire's bottom tower is in turmoil.
900 gold pocketed by the Dire. They're using Phantasm Illusions to try to push. And they lost Mushi again in that fight. His Perseverance complete, but look at this net worth. He's so far behind any of the enemy cores and just barely ahead of his own Vengeful Spirit. So this Medusa needs so much more space for her to actually be able to come online, and she's really the big hope of DG. Viper will lose his oomph the later the game goes, especially building like this utility item, Silence. Illusory Orb. He pops the Veil a little late. Dream Coil connecting. Viper Strike onto Platinum. Wild Axes to Roar, and they lose that. But the stolen Viper Strike put onto Otto. Otto fairly tanky though. Reality Rip pulling him back. The stun. Chaos Bolt for 2 seconds. They're trying to keep Obelisk away. They have had their Beastmaster survived for now. So 1-0. No Nether Swap. Mushi Mushi is here, but this Medusa without very many items not doing a whole lot of damage. She'd pick up her damage talent though, which, well, again, talents help a lot, but still a bit behind. She's slowly catching up, and if she ever does catch up, I think DG have a real shot at this game, but they need this. They need Mushi to become bigger than she is. 5k XP and about 5k gold, as we can see here.
Tower is under attack.
Pipe of Insight finished for the Viper. That magic shield will be decent for them, but the Chaos Knight, I think, is the real threat, especially to this Medusa, and especially now that he's gotten Echo Saber done. Tome of Experience for the Venge. She's level 10. Magic Resistance. I think that's okay. The magic resist. I think they're putting too much into magic in this game. Again, it's okay because Puck went Veil, but
What was I doing?
minus armor would have been pretty good for their team. And perhaps they're just worried because of the Rubik getting null field at some point. He hasn't skilled it up yet though, so they don't have that minus magic armor. However, Radiant smoked up now on the prowl, scanning. They know at least where some heroes are. They could find something. They're pinging. Are the Dire gonna try to smoke? They have one in the Vengeful Spirit's backpack. Radiant, they see Toddington, but they want grander goals. They want a bigger target than just this coddle. They break the smoke onto Mushi Mushi. That's the hero they want, and he's a goner. I don't think there's any kind of rebuttal or rebuff available. No vengeance at all. Puck, can he get that cancel? Nope. Silence, Dream Coil. TP is up, but will he get it off? They have a Chaos Bolt and a Reality Rip. Doesn't cancel. It's not a hard disable. So both heroes escaping after Mushi Mushi dies. Things could have gone far, far worse for Digital Gaming there. But I think MMKR are okay with that. They're not too concerned. They got the Medusa, keeping her down for even longer now. She's still fairly far away from her Lincoln Sphere. Once she gets that, those kinds of kills are going to be a little bit harder to get. But they have several point-and-click disables that they can throw at her. They have the Chaos Knight stun. They have the Rubik left. They have Reality Rift that pulls her back, and Phantasm popped up top from Obelisk. Obelisk, good damage. This is tier 2. They can fort for it, but I don't think they should. Yeah, they say that they don't want to fort for that. I wonder if the Radiant, if MMKR go for Roshan while they have the CK Illusions. They kill it very, very quickly. They may want to commit Exorcism for it, but I think that's super worth doing. They're walking towards the pit now, and they've got great damage for this. They may not even need the Exorcism. A lot of minus armor and the right click damage with those Phantasm Illusions is very, very good against the Roshan. And Dire, they don't appear to know this is going on. They may know because they had a ward here. They saw people walk into the pit. They're going to try. They're smoked up. They could be going for this. I don't know if they have better pit fight, though. This Rosh at about half. I think they can get there in time, but they need to be quick. And Medusa was spotted by this ward, so they know that someone's coming. Coddle popping his ulti with a mini blast, wave of terror. They spot some heroes. Swap onto Obelisk. Obelisk getting silenced. Viper strike. Coddle blast goes forward, but doesn't really connect. The Exorcism flies out. The ice blast hits onto 3 heroes. They need to be extremely careful now. They're getting a lot less HP to work with. Psycore gets the Dream Coil just on 2. The Medusa ult ends. The roar hits Rubik. Mushi Mushi going forward. Breaks the stun from the AA. Otto gets killed off by Obelisk. Troll Bus gets them to do Death Prophet. And Obelisk very, very low, needs to leave. He runs out of his armlet, and this Roshan incredibly low. The Dire, GG, should be able to actually claim this. The AI Blast was very, very well positioned. And this fight, gold-wise and XP-wise, actually favoring MMKR, but with that Roshan, it changes a bit. And immortality on Mushi Mushi will be just a godsend for her. Allow her to, if she dies, her teammates can collapse to try to save her in some situations. Maybe able to pop up and use that ult right away. So some good tools for Mushi to work with now that Aegis is in her bag, but still really difficult game for this Medusa. I still don't agree with the first item Lincolns. It just feels like it's going to take even longer for Medusa to do anything. I don't mind first item Lincolns if she gets like a Yasha or a Maelstrom or a Mask of Madness, something that enables her to fight early, enables her to, you know, get to work at the start, like without relying so heavily on her teammates. But thankfully for her, the Venge aura, the Beastmaster aura helps significantly in her doing some damage. So she's got some stuff to benefit her. And at level 15 gets the attack speed too. So even though a bit behind in items, won't feel as bad. I mean, just look at this net worth. She's still 1k behind the CK, 2k behind the Death Prophet and Puck. Lincoln's purchased though.
Needs bandages.
So a bit more of a hard target, and this last tier 1 for the Radiant time should find that. Backs off, lets him auto get it with his creeps. Doesn't want to get TP jumped. Thyme going for a Maelstrom. Synergizes great with his spell Lifesteal talent. I'm wondering if he's going like the spell damage build, if he'll get the corrosive skin stats. I don't know, it scales horribly, but like Kaya Ags is super cool on Viper. I think Ags is actually pretty standard for the incredibly short cooldown. You can just keep a hero just locked down forever. Death Prophet also finishing her Lincoln, so Pizza Pasta a little bit more difficult to kill, has some good control, or can also throw it onto her CK if she feels like she needs to do that. And I think they broke that with Swap. Yikes! They don't have the Force Staff from from Toddington. I think is probably the best way to break the Lincolns for the Death Prophet. Spell Steal. Oh, Rubik got Nether Swap. Rank 2, so like very respectable range. They've smoked up, they're on the low ground. Could be popped. Rubik pops it. Can they get him? He does have mana leak, but Puck blinking and a swap back. Ice Blast doesn't latch on anything. Does hit Thyme. Exorcism is used. Dagon onto the Viper. Viper does die. TP spots his Exorcism. Totting extremely low. Yule's up and he's done for. The Exorcism Spirits. Actually the Fade Bolt, and now Otto trying to TP away. Reality Rift in the crit. And a right clicks plus the Exorcism Spirits. +3 in no time at all. They just didn't seem like they wanted to actually commit to this engagement or not. They didn't really use anything, and it was just too late. And now Radiant pushing up top. Fortunately, the one bright spot, Pizza Pasta will run out of Exorcism before they get to the tier 3. So their high ground siege, their building hitting for the Radiant actually pretty poor. I mean, it's Obelisk is okay at it, but it's not great. I mean, with his illusions, he's pretty good at it, but a very long cooldown spell. Exorcism is their best building hitting ability. So yeah, they're just gonna back off. They're gonna shove the wave in and leave. They don't want to waste their time trying to siege up high ground. I think they need an Aegis to go up high ground, or at least an Exorcism to go up high ground. However, tier 2 towers, much easier to commit on. Mushi Mushi still has the Aegis for about a minute. Lincoln's breaks the Reality Rift.
In the wrong end of business.
And MMKR backing off from this mid. Don't want to overcommit to anything. If Chaos Knight or Death Prophet get caught out, they could get roared, but DP with the Lincoln Sphere. They need to break it with like a Force Staff or something. Maybe even Viper Strike. Reality Rift. Oh, Chaos Knight just finds a good solo kill. Dagon Drain onto Beastmaster. Beastmaster super low. Illusory Orb. He's a goner. Phantasm. He He wants something, and the Dream Coil traps Thyme in place. It's not a good place to be. Reality Rebecca snaps it too. Nicely done, and a double kill for Obelisk. The Spirit Vessel onto the Medusa, getting her very, very low. She still has Aegis, but just for a little while longer. She needs to be careful. It will expire in just a few seconds. Reality, oh goodness! Triple kill for Obelisk and Keeper of the Light. Blink and you'll miss him with that damage from the CK Illusions. And Mushi Mushi has lost his Aegis. He needs to be very, very cautious. Reality Rip broken by losing vision. Fortunately for Mushi Mushi. And now High Ground is a possibility. They have Exorcism up now. Pizza Pasta immediately popping it. There's still some Phantasm Illusions for a little while. Wave of Terror. They have Fortification up. Likely to need it. Throw out the Mystic Snake, bouncing it around. It does break the Lincolns too. So Death Prophet may be a little bit more cautious. However, with the rate at which they clear these waves makes it so they're probably going to go up High Ground again. They have great vision thanks to the Ancient Apparition 2 Reality Rift onto Trollbus. Trollbus lifted, Cold Feet, and some right clicks. A Roar onto the CK. They've already lost their Venge. Obelisk is very, very low. Do they have the right clicks? He toggles his armlet at the wrong time, and he pops. The Dream Coil snaps on one. The Viper Strike dodged by the face shift. Zycor still alive. Exorcism ending. Wave of Terror. Getting Medusa, getting some armor shred. Platinum swapped back into an incredibly bad spot, and he's going to go down to the Wild Axes from Otto. Dream Coil on cooldown, so he uses his Illusory Orb, but he stuns himself up with that Mana Leak and Magic Missile onto the AA. It dies to Trollbus, and Zycor actually completely out of mana. He can pop his Stick Charge, but it's not going to give him enough mana to get away. He blinks, though, but is spotted immediately by the Vengeful Spirit. She has Magic Missile, throws it forward. Coddle getting some right clicks. One more right click will do it. He hides himself, but stuns himself on that Mana Leak, and a Wave of Terror. A double kill for Trollbus, and a total of 4 down. That nets with the Vengeful Spirit buyback even 1,900, actually 2,000 gold swinging in favor of DG. So the first really good fight for DG this game. And I don't think did that count the puck death? Now it does. So about 2.8k actually for DG. Mushi Mushi gets his Yasha, can buy his second ultimate orb. May want to save for buyback though. And XP also a Stark Dip. And the 11k gold lead shrinks to 7. So DG starting to come online a little bit. Medusa's second on the net worth now. And with this max Venge aura, the max Beastmaster aura, they push very, very quickly. They can get some objectives. That gets them even more gold, gets them more caught up. They can't siege High Ground, but they may be able to get another 2 gold. Maybe they do try to siege High Ground. They have swap on Venge. Trollbus needs to be careful. Swaps in deep, gets Reality, gets stunned, and Reality Rifted. She's done for. Spirit Siphon. Medusa pops her ultimate, the Stone Gaze. I don't know if she wants to go in deep. That AA blast hits 3 heroes. Do they turn? They use Phantasm, but Chaos Knight needs to keep his illusions, looking away from Mushi. Mushi getting extremely low. The Roar comes out. Mushi hit by the Spirit Vessel, dies to the Fatal Bolt from Platinum. Illuminate, Fuels onto Viper. Viper getting low. Silence does eat his Stick Charges, healthy for the time, but force staffed from a teammate. Jumped in from Zycor. Zycor throws out the orb. The cold feet. Thyme gets away. The Dagon finishing off Coddle. And Thyme's still running away. Can TP. I don't think AA can get him. Does see him, but nothing he can do. DG stick their hand a little bit too far into the cookie jar, and it snaps shut. Platinum, the swap from the Venge, incredibly ambitious. They have buyback on the Medusa, but her using it pushes her further down in the net worth, and she can't afford to be behind. Fortunately, even if they do let this, I think they would only lose 1 Rax, even if they do let Rax go. But the big issue, I think the bigger issue is the 5k XP swap, or XP gain, is ugly. And Exorcism committed here, tier 3 down, and it's gonna be Rax. They fortify. It's just Viper and Beastmaster at the moment, so they can get at least 1 lane of Rax. Manta Style from Obelisk makes them push a bit faster. They're doing everything they can to stop this. The Silence, creds, Ice Blast, they lose the Beastmaster already. Otto gonna go down. Viper lifted up, he's in trouble too. He can't survive Fateful, but a good defensive thought from Trollbus. Trollbus looks like he's gonna pay with his own life, but a great blind. Oh, Dream Coil, trapping 2. Can they get out of here? Magic Missile to drain the Spirit Siphon onto Trollbus. Trollbus needs to be careful not to break his coil. The Spirit Vessel onto Thyme. Thyme gets some good right clicks. Stun up onto Zycor from that Mana Leak. Zycor pops his Stick Charges, throws his orb out, gets the Spirit Vessel, does not do enough damage to kill the Viper. And Wave of Terror back, stolen from Platinum, and it spits in both ways. Each team screaming at each other. A 1-0, but they lose a wave of Rax, or a lane of Rax. So DG definitely not getting very much out of that fight. Even though both teams expended a huge amount of resources. Only Beastmaster dies, though. Again, Rax secured by the Radiant, by MMKR. Mushi, even though he could finish his Manta Style, which would be a great item for him to pick up for his damage, for his survivability, he needs to save for buyback, but he can get the ultimate orb and still have buyback. If he dies without buyback, it could be very, very bad. The bright side, one great thing for the Medusa, she's really close to that 700 mana talent, which is a gigantic increase to her survivability. So Obelisk, Manta, and 2K gold. Had that Manta that last push. Rubik with a blink, gonna go for Ags. Wants to get those Ags upgraded spells. Really good with the bench swap, really good with the Beastmaster Roar. I don't know if it gives him, I don't think it's that great otherwise though. I mean, Medusa's Ags, does she have an Ags? Agonit, what does the Ags do for Mystic Snake? I don't remember. Oh, it petrifies. That'd be okay. Actually, it'd be pretty good because the Death Prophet ult is physical damage. So it would amplify the petrify. Of course, makes enemies magic immune, but they take 100. They take more physical damage, a 50% more. So Death Prophet would be eating. In Chaos Knight would just be eating people alive. Not horrible. The 10-second Viper Strike also pretty good, and that's pretty easy to steal since it's Viper's one of his 2 active spells. Is that dig on 3? And wants to finish that 5 in the mid. They're going on to Mushi Mushi, and he just gets demolished. Didn't have Mana Shield active, and without that Mana Shield up, it's an easy and quick kill. She does buy out her Manta style recipe, but Roshan alive, and without that Medusa, there's basically 0 way for them to contest, even if they were all up in first place. CK pops his Manta illusions, they stun up Roche, and yeah, they're gonna make quick work of this. Vengeful Spirit can scout with a Wave of Terror, but there's nothing they can really do. And with this Aegis, I'm pretty sure it goes on to the Chaos Knight, maybe onto Pizza Party, Pizza Pasta, I don't know, whatever. Obelisk with Bleach, Aegis, and Cheese, Platinum pocketing that, or no, it's still, yep, Platinum pockets it, Veil from the puck onto Toddington Bear. Toddington is A-okay though, recalling his Vengeful Spirit so she isn't caught off guard, caught out in a weird position, but Troll almost runs right back out there. Medusa will be up in 20 seconds, so she should be up for any kind of high ground defense, as the Radiant not really in a position to go right for tier 4s yet. Reality Rift, just a farm. Medusa, Manta finished. She can buy back, so she does get that item with being able to buy back, but she's still 3rd on the net worth. She needs a little bit more. That 700 mana talent with the Mana Shield makes her a lot beefier though, so if she has that on, as long as she has that on when she gets jumped, she should survive long enough for her team to try to save her, to try to engage, especially like a Venge swap. And Venge actually going mech, you know, a normal Venge item, interesting pickup. The Exorcism in the mid, they want to get something, they want to get anything. Lincolns have broken on at least one hero. I think it was Pizza Pasta that lost his weekend. Swap back, she BKBs immediately. Dream Coil hits 3 heroes. Zycor, Mushi Mushi dodges the silence with the Ice Blast, hits onto 3. The auto getting extremely low, but he already broke his coil, so he does manage to get away. He's A-okay for the time. Silence, Spirit Siphon, and Spirit Vessel. A lot of damage to Viper. He's okay. However, not healing a lot thanks to that Spirit Vessel, and they lose this tier 3, which means Shrines are already vulnerable. It's going to be even easier. And Obelisk Reality Rifting back. Mushi does have buyback, so if she does die, she'll need to use it. An instant buyback. Axe is getting Obelisk Glow. Viper going in, gets the break onto 1. The Fleck Orb from the Illuminate Blast. Ult from Mushi. Obelisk extremely low. Will die here. Has the Ingus though. Team will try to engage on this, I think. Stolen Stone Gaze from Platinum. He's using it. He's screaming. He's got that going. They can't turn to face him. They'll get stunned. Wave of Terror. There's the Illuminate Blast, and Mushi eaten alive. That's a dieback on Medusa. This could be GG. They just call it out. And we'll see if that's a real GG call, but Mushi eaten alive by the CK. Look at that damage from Obelisk. A double kill for him. And with that, Roshan, MKR seal the deal in 2-0 in this best of 2. No one's eliminated since it is just the group stage, but MMKR starting their season off running. And DG definitely have some things to work on, to improve on. I just feel like they kind of got outdrafted a little bit, and they just didn't play their lanes necessarily correctly. I think the Medusa, if Mushi was able to TP up top after the Radiant, after MMKR moved their tri-lane back to bot, maybe it would have been a bit better. But they just weren't able to create all that space, and MMKR honestly just outplayed them a lot. I think DG have some potential as a team. They did a lot. They adjusted a lot between games 1 and 2 and did a lot better in the second game. But Even still, we're just not able to keep up with Meow Meow Kitty Rangers, who take the series once again 2-0 in a best of 2. Good luck further to both these teams. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the cast. A little shaky here and there, but I think it was fine. Anyways, if you have any feedback, please let me know. And for those who followed, I didn't shout you out during the cast, but thank you so much. Anyways, thank you guys for stopping by, and until next time, I'm Nefarious, signing off.